Hello everyone. Good evening or good afternoon rather. Hello, can we all hear me?
Good
Yes,
evening.
I can hear you.
Yes, we
All
can. Good afternoon.
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Can
Good
hear you.
afternoon, sir.
all right, good afternoon. Thank you so much everyone for joining in. All right, you are welcome to today's onboarding. We'll be starting in exactly 2 minutes. I just wanted to confirm our audio to see if we can all hear me loud and clear. But since that is confirmed, we would be starting shortly. All right. I will be starting off with just introducing myself. Um, like you already know, I have been the one you've been interacting with on the group or has been sharing with you all the information on the group. My name is Dennis Williams, and I am your program coordinator for the third and fourth quarter of 2025. All right. So throughout this session, you'll be seeing me a lot. You will be getting to I will be guiding you through the whole 7 weeks of this mentorship and internship program. And right, basically the reason why we are setting up this onboarding session is just generally to give you a frame of what to expect over the course of the next 7 weeks, to tell you what the program is about, and also to address maybe certain misconceptions or where there are vague ideas or knowledge gaps about the program. We can try to, as much as possible, fill it in today's session ahead of next week, where you'll be having your class starting. So not to waste any time, it's already 3 o'clock. Once again, welcome to the Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program, third and fourth quarter 2025. All right, give me a moment to turn on my video. All right, so I'm having a little issue with my audio, so I will be speaking from a second device. All right, I'll be speaking from a second, sorry. All right, I'll be speaking from a secondary device, but I have tried to make sure that I pinned myself. I'm sorry, give me 1 minute. Let me just try to work on this setting so that you can see me while I'm speaking. All right, so yeah, so this is me. Welcome to the Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program officially. So we'll go ahead by just starting up to introduce the program and what the program is about. I'll be sharing my screen and doing that shortly. Okay. All right. So the Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program is a twice in a year program for students and young professionals across Africa. Mentees are afforded the opportunity to access valuable advice, training, network, mentorship, internship, discussion forums, industry updates, and resource materials from experienced mentor. This program seeks to encourage continuous training, development, and evolution in Africa and around the world. Right, you can watch our videos by searching for Gypsy on YouTube and Facebook, and then with our hashtag Gypsy MIP, that's Gypsy Mentorship and Internship Program. The objectives for the program, what we seek to achieve over the course of the program is firstly to provide easy access to quality professional guidance, training, and resource materials for students and young professionals in Africa. And then secondly, to facilitate dialogues and network among experienced and less experienced practitioners and stakeholders. Thirdly, to transform mentees into mentors and leaders for the next generation. And then lastly, to facilitate further mentorship, internship, scholarship, and just placements for mentees. We've been doing this for the last 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, 4 years. We've been doing this for the last 4 years. We've been doing this for the last 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. Right. And we have done this in collaboration with other training institutes, mentors from around the world. We have mentors drawn from, I think, around 6 continents for the different courses. We have mentors drawn in from about 6 continents, and we've mentored over 1,500 mentees within the space of 4 years. Right. So twice in a year, we host programs like this, and then we have mentees join in, and we try as much as possible to guide them and train them as best as we can. So this particular session is not going to be any difference. It's not going to be any difference. We are going to. Okay, can we hear me? I can see some messages on the chat box. If we can't hear me, can we just kindly confirm?
I can hear you, sir.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I can
All
also
right.
hear you.
I can hear you too, sir.
I can hear you too, sir.
All right, no problem. So later on, we'll be having a question and answer session where we can have a discussion, but I just want to run you through what to expect over the course of the next 7 weeks so that when it's time to ask questions, you can ask your questions and we'll give room to as many questions as we can. And then subsequently, we'll close the session. We don't intend for it to be very, very long, right? Give or take roughly an hour will be out of here. The focus is to just have this dialogue with you so that you can know what to expect during the mentorship. So classes are going to be starting next week. Starting with the ADR class, the scheduling for classes has been sent to the group. The scheduling for classes has been sent to your different groups. You know which particular groups you belong to. I've also done the groupings for the classes. Please, if you have not been assigned any group, right, please reach out to me after this um, after this call, and we'll do well to fix you in a group so that you can carry on with the work. I know you may be wondering why we are sending you work before class starts, right? The class has not started, but then we're giving you a task to do. The reason why we are doing that is to prepare you ahead of class, all right? So the topics we have sent out to you are the topics that will be covered during the class. And because we know that the 2 hours may not be sufficient time to cover as much as we would want to cover on those particular topics, right? We try to engage you by ensuring that prior work is done ahead of class, so that by the time you are coming to class, you are not vague, or you are not lost on the ideas, on the content that the mentors that are going to be present in class are going to be discussing. You are not lost on those ideas. They are ideas that you have done a little research to, and then they can give proper guidance to the things that you'll be hearing in class. So the people who are going to be mentoring you and are going to be teaching you over the course of the next few weeks are people who are industry experts, right? They are not necessarily like your professors within conventional schooling in school settings. So these are going to be professionals, people who have professional experience in their field, well, extensive professional experience in their field, and they have done that for a long time. So they will be guiding you in those lights, giving you proper information for you to strive in the industry you want to find yourself in. All right, so you can take advantage of the research that we have sent to you to inform yourself ahead of class so that you can also ask informed questions. Questions are a key part of classes. We give a time for questions and answers during each session so that you can ask questions and then you can inquire from the mentors. If there are concepts and things that you don't properly understand, they can give proper explanations to them. All right, so questions and answer sessions are like mandatory and you're expected to ask questions. So this is one of the reasons why we have sent you an assignment and a research to start working on ahead of the class. The time and the dates for submissions have already been fixed for it, and we'll be expecting that from you soon. So please, if you've been assigned a role within the groups that I have put out, please do well to try as much as possible to get to work as soon as possible. If possible, after this session is done, I would expect that already some groups would have been created, right? Before the end of today, I expect that all groups, all subgroups, right, would have been created for courses where there are two groups. We should expect to have those two groups created before the end of the day. And for intellectual property, where we have four groups, we expect that in the IP, in the IP class, those groups have been created, and people who have been assigned to do so, please try and do that as quick as possible so that work can start immediately and then you can meet the deadlines for your submission, right? So if there are any things within the framework of the presentation that you do not understand, I'll try as much as possible to try to explain it here. Try to explain it here. And if you don't understand, well, like I said, we have a question and answer segment where you can ask questions. So basically to discuss about the presentation. So the presentation is, you people are expected to work on a presentation slide for each class. A topic will be sent out to you ahead of each class. You are to work on a presentation based off of your group and the topic that has been given to you. You have to work on the presentation slide. It's supposed to be detailed. The presentation is supposed to be detailed, but also considerate of the time of the fact that you are going to also present in class. So it's also supposed to work within a time frame. It's supposed to be designed to work within a time frame. Your presentations will be sent to us, like I said, ahead of time. I will be sending it to the mentors, the people who will be teaching you in class, and they will go through it so that they can see places where you may have some, like I said, knowledge gap, and they can fill it in. They can fill it in. Like I said, presentations, we expect to see case studies within your presentation. If you've been given an assignment, if you've been given a group presentation to work on, please try as much as possible to present within your PPT case studies so that we can have practical examples to the things you people are trying to discuss or give reference to, right? And please, referencing is also a key aspect of the work that is meant to be done, right? Your work should have referencing, it should have a source. We should be able to say that this is where you have gotten your work from, and we expect every one of you to work as a team. So within each group, during the presentation, certain roles have been assigned. For instance, the role of the group leader for group one, like the roles of the group leader. For this week, the role of the group leader is firstly to create the subgroup, right, like I earlier said. And then the second role of the group leader is to coordinate the activities of the group for the duration of that week. For the duration of that week, it is expected that every member of the group is supposed to cooperate with the group leader. Please try as much as possible to cooperate with your group leader. There are going to be rotations for this role weekly, right? So one person is not going to be group leader for all 7 weeks. The roles are going to be rotated throughout the course of the program. So the group leader is firstly expected to create the group, like I said, for this week, and then that group that will be created should cover the duration of the 7 weeks. And then secondly, coordinate the activities of the group to ensure that the work is done properly and on time, and the group leader's responsibility to make submission. And then you have within the roles, you have the compilers, right? People who have been designated to compile the presentation on behalf of the group. So whatever resources, whatever resources, whatever resources the group must have gathered, materials submitted to the group, the role of the compiler or the compilers is to try to fit it into a PowerPoint presentation so that that work for the submission, and then you have the group presenter. The group presenter is supposed to be the one to present in class. Weekly in each class, you are not just making presentation for presentation's sake so that we can see the presentation. You are supposed to also make the presentation in class, and we've assigned an individual to be the group presenter. In the instance where the group presenter is unable to present, maybe due to technical issues, we have also assigned certain people to stand in as backup presenters. Right. So it is expected that they should prepare ahead of class to make presentations on behalf of the group. Presentation time is 10 minutes, right? So please, whether if you are a group presenter, right, please, you are expected to learn how to stick to time, right? So that we don't spend so much time in class just listening to your presentation solely, right? We want to get every perspective, right? But we also want to stick to time as much as we can. So yeah, those are the major rules within age group for the presentation. And then we have other people who are listed within the group to write articles. They are to contribute to the presentation in terms of materials and resources, right? But it is expected for them to write individual articles that is going to be their work that they will submit. They will also submit. There's a link for submission of articles, and like I said, roles will be rotated weekly so that everyone will get to participate in one way or the other, whether if it be writing articles or working directly on the presentation. So whatever the case, we would rotate in that manner to ensure that the work goes round. Okay. Okay, somebody is sharing a whiteboard. Please, can you stop? All right, so, but not to waste any time. Not to waste any time. Not to waste any time. Sorry about that. Not to waste any time. For the articles that would be you people are expected to work on, right? So the articles, I've gotten some questions, people asking for the articles, is there a word count? No, there are no expected word counts to your articles. If you have been assigned to write an article, you are not there's no limit, right? It is dependent on the extent of your own research and what you have done, right? But what we demand from you writing your articles is that your articles should be done using Word documents, right? So that it is easy for us to look through it. It should be done using Word documents, and then there should be referencing to your work. Your articles at the end of the program will be posting your articles and tagging you to them on our LinkedIn page. It is something that we constantly do, and it's a core part of, our work, right? We post articles of students have written. Sometimes we use Medium, but our major channel for posting your articles will be LinkedIn, and you'll be notified when your articles are posted. You'll be tagged to your article. So if you're on LinkedIn, we'll tag you to that article, to your article, so that you can see it, share it as you like. But the only way we will post your article is if your article has reference. If there's no reference to your work, then we will not post it. Right? We would drop it. We will drop it, but we will not be posting it. So please, what we expect is that your article should be written with Word documents, and there should be referencing to your work. These are just the two requirements we have for articles, right? So like I've said, okay, we've discussed about presentation and I've talked a bit about articles. So classes are going to be 2 hours once a week, right? We have sent your schedules. You can look at the time for your schedule so that you will know and prepare yourself ahead of time so that you don't miss out on class. Attendance, we take attendance quite serious. So for the referencing, for the articles, you can use any referencing style you want, right? Whether if it's APA or otherwise, right? Yeah, you can use any style for referencing. as you want. You can also use a footnote if you want, right? But we would like to just see reference, and that's just it. So sorry, back to talking about attendance, right? Attendance is very key and essential. Attendance is very key as an essential. Throughout the 7 weeks, you are expected to attend all your classes. If for any reason you are unable to attend class, please do reach out to us, and we'll follow up after class with the links to the class, because just like the way we are streaming this particular session, all sessions and all classes will be streamed on YouTube. So you can always have access to revisit classes after they are done. But we expect to see you in class, because we have an attendance list that we'll be sending you after each session for you to fill. So attendance is quite compulsory. It's not just quite compulsory, it's actually mandatory. And like I said, if for any reason you are able to join in for any session, please reach out to us so that we can know the reason why you will not be in class, and you can't be excused. And if you are absent for more than 2 classes, we may have to, well, take some measures, right? We may have to take some measures as regards, working out a plan for your attendance. And if it doesn't change, right, then we may have to remove you from the program. That's how important attendance is to us. So yeah, okay, that's how important attendance is to us. Also, um, after each class is done, you are expected to, after each class is done, you are expected to post about what you've learned in class, right? You can share what you've learned on LinkedIn, share your posts within the group so that, we can see that, so that we can see it, right? You can share what you've learned with your friends, and that's just it. We expect that after class that you post what you've learned in the session, as well as fill in your attendance for every class that you attend. So basically, we are supposed to do just a small practical, just for me to show you how to share your slides during presentations. Because like I said, you'll be making presentations and you're expected to share your screens during presentations. The Zoom application allows you to share your screen, right? To share your screen, and you can use it. We expect you to use it during your presentations. We expect you to use it during your presentations. You are just to press the share icon that is on, whether if you're using your mobile phone or you're using a laptop, you're expected to use well, I expect that we all know how to share slides. But if you do not know how to do that, well, you can reach out to me, and then, we can just, so that we don't waste so much time doing that here. You can reach out to me and I'll try to put you through. That if you've been assigned to be a presenter for any week. And okay, I can see some questions are coming in. I will address those questions soon, right? I will address those questions soon. So please, I would just like to encourage all of us, right? We have not just people or students from Nigeria. We also have students. Like I said, our mentorship is targeted across Africa. Basically, the idea is to target young professionals and students across Africa. So we have a few mentees from across Africa. We have some from Egypt, a few from South Africa and other parts of Africa. Please, in right? In working, we want to see the expressions of your own jurisdictions, right? The expressions of your own jurisdictions in your work. So for instance, if there are case studies, let's say you are based in South Africa and there are case studies while working on your presentation or while working on articles, if there are case studies that are relevant to your own jurisdiction, you can include that. We would like to see that, right? Um, as much as we want case studies to be global, right? We also want your case studies to be localized to your own jurisdictions too. right? So please, in your writings and in your articles, and also your presentation, try, like I said earlier, try to include articles. So try to include case studies rather. So right at well, as to the best of my knowledge, I've tried to cover, the basics of what you need to know for the next 7 weeks. In week one, 2 hours classes every week over the course of the next 7 weeks. In week six is going to be a bit different. Week six is going to be a bit different. In week six, you are going to be having specialized sessions in week six. That is combined classes, just like the way we have everyone on this particular call. We will also be having everyone on this call, everyone across the several courses on a call for class, right? And the calls are going to address different topics in week six, and there are going to be 4 classes over the course of 3 days, right? So, when it's time for that, we'll be giving you guidance as regards to that. Okay, I forgot to mention, we also do take, well, I don't like to call it an exam, but it is somewhat within that sense. At the end of the program, overall, we'll be sending you out a quiz for you to fill, right? This quiz is just generally to just give some kind of or some form of testing to the fact that you have participated in the program overall and you are going to be graded on it. It's more of a 10 question a 10 questions. We may work on it and or maybe make it a little bit more, but usually for the last two quarters, it has been a 10 question quiz, right? We may work on it and it may be more, but it's just overall to test your knowledge. So at the end of the mentorship, towards week 7, before the closing ceremony, you'll be taking a little quiz just to assess your knowledge through the course of the 7 weeks program that you have engaged in, right? Um, okay, yeah, okay. I'm trying to gather my thoughts together to remember as much as I can so that I can share everything that you need to know. Also for each course, we have we usually award a best performing mentee for each course, right? So based off of your quiz and your participation in terms of your attendance, your articles, your submissions, your postings, we'll be gathering details on everything that you're doing within those slides and be accumulating them into scores, into a scorecard for you. And that scorecard is to grade your performance. Overall, it's more of an indices for us to grade your performance over the course of the program. So at the end of or at week 7, we'll be sending you a score sheet where you can see scores from accumulation of your participation in class, your attendance, your articles, the number of articles you have written in relation to the work you have been given, your participation in presentation and all that will be accumulated to give you a particular score, right? Or it will be accumulated to give you a score. Please, if you have your speakers muted, please, can you kindly mute? Okay, thank you. Thank you. You'll be accumulated to give you a particular score, and at the end of that, the mentee in each particular course with the highest score, overall score, will be awarded a certificate as the best performing mentee, right, within that course. So we do that more as a reward system for your participation, and we will not necessarily give full details about what the reward system is going to look like right now, right? We'll work towards ensuring that you have something substantial, right, for fully being committed to the program, right? This mentorship session or this mentorship is coming to you for very little to nothing in terms of cost, right? So because we are giving it to you in such affordable fashion, if you were to pay the full price of the mentorship, well, yeah, it's going to cost you a lot. It's actually going to cost you a lot if you were to pay the full price for the mentorship. But because we are trying to do this in terms of our our goal to push the awareness or to just work generally for the development and for the betterment of young students and people who are starting out in their careers, to equip them as best as we can to face the world outside, the professional world outside, and we want you to be fully equipped. What we expect in return is full participation, your full participation, and your absolute, your absolute your absolute commitment to the program. We expect that over the course of the next 7 weeks, right, you are committed to the work, you are diligent, right, and if there are any issues, you report to us. Because of how many, in terms of the number of mentees that we have based off of our numbers, we have slightly over 400, right? We will not be hesitant to remove any person from this program if we see signs of unseriousness among mentees. We will try as much as we can to make that a last resort, right? So that we don't set a precedence so that we don't set a precedence for being so that we don't set a precedence that we are just trying to push you to the extreme, right? It will be a last resort, but we expect that you show a level of professionalism over the course of the next 7 weeks. Please, for classes, try and be on time. When we say, like we said, this session is going to be 3 p.m. and exactly 3 p.m. we started. And exactly 3 p.m. we started. We expect that, once it's time for your class, you are joining in. We don't have to cajole you, before you join in for sessions. So please, when it is time to have sessions, try as much as possible to be on time. Well, we know that, there are going to be incidents, and over time, after maybe with three, the energy may not necessarily be there, right? And, it may be hard to keep up, right? But that's one of the reasons why, we have coordinated you into groups so that you people can support each other as much as you can, right? The group leaders that have been assigned for each week have a level of autonomy, right, to generally dictate what should happen within the group. So in as much as we have given or will be giving tasks, we'll be giving particular tasks to particular individuals in the instance where, because of an unforeseen circumstance or because of maybe an issue or the other, somebody is not able to carry out his role in the way that he should. We expect that the group leader should be able to, out of his own discretion, reassign particular roles to particular individuals who are able to handle it, depending on the peculiarity of the situation on ground, right? So for each week, each group leader that will be assigned has that level of autonomy, right, to do in the group as they can, except in the instance where, the case is beyond the handling capacity of the group leader, then you can reach out to me to try as much as possible to help resolve particular issues within groups. We expect that relationships among mentees, because like I said, one of our objectives is to also build networking, not just with mentors, but amongst yourself, right? We expect that, there should be cordial, but also professionalism amongst yourself in terms of how you relate and share ideas and discuss, right? If you are having issues with your articles, right, and you have particular, maybe group members that seem to excel more, they can help you look through your articles, help maybe correct in the way that they can, right, just to assist you within that slide, right? We allow for that. We allow for you to build those kind of networks. Well, because we expect those networking to continue, not just within the next 7 weeks, but outside of here, right? So after you are done with the program, you'll be added to our alumni group so that, you are still in contact, with our structures. And when there are industry updates and connections to further mentorship, or there's a need for recommendation, or you want to study abroad and you need people to fill in for you, we can stand in to do that for you, right? So that's one of the things that we are offering during this mentorship. So please, what we just expect in return is your absolute commitment, like I've said, right? Is your absolute commitment. So well, I've spoken a lot. Well, in the last 30 minutes, I've spoken quite a lot. So I just want to give the floor for us to ask questions. Please, if you have a question, you can kindly indicate by the raise of hands. You can indicate by raise of hands, or maybe by an emoji. I'll call you, you unmute, and then you can ask your question. So are there questions for me today? Yeah. All right. Okay, I can see some questions. Some people are already raising their hands. Let's start from Chidi Bube. Sorry if I did not pronounce your name very well. My sincere apologies. You can go ahead and ask your questions, and then subsequently I'll call those who are also raising their hands. So please, you can go ahead.
Please, sir.
Ebube.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir. I want to ask two very important questions. One is there going to be, or are there going to be course materials given to us that is relevant to the courses we will be treating in this during this program? And then the said attendance that we are going to fill, is it going to be sent to us privately or in the group? Since it is intended to capture those that were present in the meeting. That's the two questions, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for your questions. So to answer your first question, so about course materials, um, our mentors are quite sensitive about releasing their materials within that sense. Well, we've had issues in the past where, mentors may be unwilling to send out, their presentation materials because they too sometimes will get to use presentation and they may have one or two resources on ground. We will try our possible best to talk to the mentors so that if they have resource materials that they want to share with the mentees, we'll do well to gather those materials and send to you. But pre-class, right, we don't have materials that we send pre-class. You are to do your research, find out as much as you can, prepare for class, and then when it's time for classes, go as they should, and then if there are materials that are tied to that, to those class that the mentors want to share, then we would do well to pass them on to you, right? Overall, well, I'm sure there are going to be a few materials here and there to work with, but we'll be sharing it with you as when due. And also the presentations that will be done by the groups. People can also exchange presentations. The presentations will be posted in the main group of your course so that you can always have access to it to see what the other group has done, if at all there are informations that you need within that work that they have done so that you can have access to it. And then about the attendance will be sent to the main group. It will not be sent to you individually. It's going to be sent to the main group so that you can fill, right, after every class. We'll send in a bunch of instructions on what you should do after every session, right? Yeah. So that's it. I hope I was able to answer your question. I'll be going next to Mr. Effiong, right? Effiong Valor, please, you can go ahead and unmute.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Well, I don't know if
Yeah.
maybe this is my time. I say a very big thank you for organizing this and to the organizer of Gypsy. I'm very much grateful. Well, let me go straight away to my question, sir. Sir, if I can recall, I think I heard you say each individual is meant to do an article. But on the group, I saw that we were being paired with some persons. So I wanted to clarify if it's an individual per se or is the person you're paired with that you're to put minds and rub minds together and do the article, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, so thank you for your question. That particular instance is peculiar to the IP group, right? And in the IP group, I think for group 3 and group 4, you were paired with somebody else. You people are together supposed to work on an article, right? Except if guided otherwise, right? Um, the person you are paired with, you are supposed to, like you said, rub minds and then prepare your article together and then, indicates that you both were co-authors of the articles. Yeah, so that is that for your question. Okay, please, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So my question is also in relation to the articles. I know you said the articles will be published by Gypsy on LinkedIn. I want to ask if we can further go ahead to publish it ourselves.
Yes, it is fine by us if you want to publish your articles by yourself. That is good and fine by us, right? Like I said, when we are posting, we would tag you so that you can see that we have posted. If you want, you can repost, right? Depending on what you want to do, right? But the article still remains yours within that sense. So you can do as you please with it within that context. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, all right. So we'll be taking questions from Bumi. Bumi, please, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, okay, good afternoon. And yes, thank you for the introduction. I'm sorry, I wanted to confirm if a certificate will be given to the attendees of the JIPPC program. And you mentioned yes, the internship is largely free. I want to confirm if that also includes the exam we'll take and also the certificates that will be given in the event that a certificate is given. Yes, thank you.
All right, so thank you for your question. So the mentorship itself, the 7 weeks of mentorship is particularly free. We only attach the cost that we attach to the program is a certificate cost, right? It's just the administrative certificate cost that we attach to it, which is 10,000 naira, which is optional for you to pay, right? It's optional for you to pay. If at the end of the program, you don't want to carry on with getting a certificate, well, you can opt not to pay for it. But if at all, at any instance, you feel you want to still get your certificate after the program, you can still reach out. But overall, we expect that you we expect that if you get to see the value from the program, yeah, you would want a certificate at the end. But like we said, the program itself is free. The certificate is paid for, right? And in the email we originally sent to you guys, right, I detailed that in the email explaining that it is optional. Yeah. All right, so please, we'll be taking questions from Phoebe. Phoebe, please, you can go ahead and ask your question.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for organizing this session. So I just wanted to ask a question concerning the articles. I can see that, for example, I'm part of the I'm part of the entertainment business and law team. So I can see that we've been given topics, but I don't know the way they are listed. Does this mean we are to choose like one of them, or we're just supposed to write the article on all four? For example, I can see four, let me call them four subtopics under my group's topics for the article. So am I writing on all of them, one of them, or how exactly does that go? I'm sorry if you addressed it and I didn't hear. I don't have the best network. Thank you.
Oh, no problem, that's fine. So to address that particular question, and thank you for the question itself. The presentation you people will be working on as a group is going to cover all of the subtopics. But you that is writing an individual article, you are expected to pick a subtopic, right? If you've been assigned or you've been given a subtopic, or if your topics, or if your group has subtopics, right, you have to pick a subtopic and write on. So for instance, I know within entertainment business and law, one of the subtopics for group one is on film financing, right? You can pick on film financing and write on film financing, or you can write on ownership, depending on your choice. It's left to your discretion.
All
Yes,
right.
I hope I was
Yes,
question.
thank you so much.
All
Sorry,
right.
I just wanted to also ask how are we making the submissions?
All right, so submissions, will be sending you a link to make your submissions. Everything that you are supposed to submit, we have links for submissions for everything, right? So we'll send those links to the group when it is the deadline or the day for the submission. We'll send the links because if you look through the message that we sent, they have expected times for submission and expected dates of submission. And the morning you are supposed to make your submission, we'll send in the link for you to make your submission. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. No problem. You're welcome. All right. So do we still have any persons with questions? I can see. Okay, let me check
Yes,
through the
yes, sir.
chat.
I just raised my hand.
Oh, all right. Please, you can go ahead and ask.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Sir, I don't know if you mentioned it too. With respect to this article submission, I saw in the group a particular date and time was specified as to when it should be submitted. Must it be must be submitted on that day or within a week time frame? The article, or not the presentation.
Yes, we expect it so that we can easily track your article submission. So when you make submission, we have a list where all your articles will be listed. Everybody who has made submissions, your articles will appear on a sheet, on that sheet. So if we ask you to maybe submit by 7 p.m., right, and you don't submit by 7 p.m., it may be more difficult to track, right, and to know when you made your submission. But if for any reason there's an issue and you cannot make submission when you're supposed to make submission, we can give a little extension for you to make that. Though, like I said, it may make it a little bit difficult for us on our end, but we would find a way to sort that through, right? But originally, you are supposed to make submission as when due, both for the presentation and for the articles. Yeah. All right. So, Elizabeth, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good.
Quickly, my question is, I see that the group chat the group leader rather for each subgroup has a responsibility to coordinate the group discussions for the week. So, and I'm quite confused in the instance where these topics are quite unfamiliar, like they are basically new topics. How do we coordinate this?
Well, that is, largely I would have said that is left for the group to kind of figure out. But we expect that in terms of coordination, what we mean is that the group leader should be responsible for, making sure that everybody is about their work within that sense. So, for instance, if the topic has been sent to you and you are trying to work on it, the group leader can follow up to, ask if people have started making research. You people can share subtopics among yourself, and then you people can, do those research and send in your work. And then the group leader should make sure that everybody is up and about doing those their tasks or doing that task within that sense, right? And then, after doing all that, ensure that and follow up with every other person that's supposed to, handle a particular role within the group. So, for instance, when the group is overall done with their research and everybody has sent in their research, the group leader is to ensure that the compilers, that's the group compilers, take the group compilers work on the compilation, put it together, and everything should be done on time. And also that the group presenter receives the presentation on time, also so that they can work and prepare ahead of class, basically. So in general, in terms of what we mean coordinate the discussion, is just essentially making sure that everybody is doing what they are supposed to do and work is being done, right? Like I said, the group leader has the autonomy. For instance, let's say the presenter is going to be unavailable and maybe the backup presenters too are unavailable. The group leader can reassign maybe particular roles within the group and say, okay, maybe this person, if you can, right, please present on behalf of the group. Yeah. All right, so there are some questions on the chat box. I'm having a little difficulty scrolling through them. So sorry about that, but I will try my possible best to. Okay, Rafia, please, you can either try and join again, or you can rewatch the session on YouTube if at all you missed anything. Do we still have more questions, please? Do we still have more questions? We would like for us to address as many questions as we can so that, um, getting into work will not be quite difficult for us. And yes, I forgot to mention, for every group that will be created, right? I am to be in your group, right? I am to be in your group. Partly also in terms of my job as your coordinator, and to also monitor from the back end, or from the side, the amount of work people are doing, or the work people are doing overall. So that if, for instance, maybe I see that work has not been done, or the group has not carried out their tasks, I can reach out to the group leader to find out what is going on. So please, if you are a group leader and you are here and you create your group, please add me to your group, right? You have my contacts on the platform. Please do well to add me to your group, right? I want to be able to follow up with what your group is doing. I expect that before the end of today, all groups would have been created. Sarah, you said you have a question. Please, can you go ahead and ask your question?
Okay, sorry. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Can we do two courses at the same time? Because I've been confused about this.
All right, two courses at the same time. Technically, while we sent out the emails, we said that the courses are restricted for one course at a time, right? Since we have done groupings, you jumping from one course to the other, or being in multiple course at the multiple course at a time, may make it quite difficult for us to follow up with you in that sense. And but right, but we can actually make an arrangement depending on your commitments, your ability to commit. If you're able to commit to multiple disciplines at the same time, then we can make an arrangement for that. But originally you are supposed to be in one course at a time. Yeah. Someone is asking, can I give more context on the subtopic? So like I said, for the subtopic, right, the subtopics, particular groups or particular disciplines have subtopics under their main topic. So for instance, in the entertainment business and law, we're describing, they have subtopics. They have specific subtopics to the main topic for the week, which is film business and law, right? They are to pick from one of their subtopics and to write on it, right? So you have to pick, or maybe you just write an introduction to film business and law, and then just do an overall overview of film business and law as a whole, right? So yeah, we are supposed to pick a subtopic from the main topic itself. The subtopic has been listed within your group. You're supposed to pick from it. Basically, that for the subtopic. I hope I've been able, for those who have asked questions, I hope I've answered in a way that you are able to understand, right, and are not confused. Ferdinand, please, you can go ahead and ask your question. Thank you for raising your hand.
Yes, good. Thank you. Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
So I'd like to ask, you made mention of presentations, and yes, there are going to be presentations. Are we going to present before the lecture, or are we essentially going to teach ourselves?
No, no, you are not, except maybe for particular situations where presentations may come first, right? Normally, the mentors will come and give an overview of the topic. They will come as much as possible and talk on the topic as much as they can within a time frame assigned to them to do so, right? They will give a discussion on the topic, and then we would have your presentations. And after your presentations, they will come and comment on the presentations that have been made. They will come and they will talk about it. If there are particular gaps in the presentations, things that you people maybe concepts that people got wrong, they'll come and clear out those misconceptions and give guidance to it. And then seeing that your presentations will be sent to them. The reason why we even ask for early submissions of your presentation is so that they can look at it, have an extensive look at it, see what you have done, so that when they are hearing your presentations, they're able to also give a perspective that is unique to the presentations you have made. So the presentation is not necessarily to just self-teach yourself. It's to just more likely give you a guide, right? Give you a guide on the discussions that will be made in class and how the progression of class is going to go. So there is a time frame given for that, but it mostly comes after the main lecture has happened. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Are there still questions? I can see we are still within time, right? We are not necessarily putting a time frame, but you can ask us many questions. Aminat, please, you can go ahead and ask your question. Aminat, I can see you raising your hands. Please, you can go ahead and ask your question. Hello, Aminat, can you hear me? Okay, seeing Aminat cannot hear me, Anita, please, you can go ahead and ask your question. Anissa, please, you can go ahead and ask your question. Okay, Anissa, Dennis, please, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for this session. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I just need clarity on something. The article that we are to write, what is the style of referencing? I did not get you when somebody asked the question. What style are we to use while referencing our sources?
Okay, that is left to your discretion. We do not put any peg on, whatever style you may want to use, right? You can use whatever you want, but just make sure to reference whether if you are using an APA style of reference or you're using a footnote, whatever the case may be. We just want to see that your material has a source. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. So do we still have questions? Okay. Blessing, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for this session. My question is about the group presentation. Is next tomorrow, which is Monday. And then there are some groups that they've not even created. Something like ADR now. They've not created the group. Doctors of bringing different materials together. So I don't know if the group admin, if they are aware that they are the group admin, or if they can be contacted.
All right. So yes, we sincerely apologize for the particular situation with week one. The reason why it is like that is because the time frame is kind of short. Classes for the ADR are going to start on Wednesday, and we need the mentors to have your presentation before the day of the class. So I will be reaching out to all group leaders, right, to ensure that work starts at least before the end of today, so that maybe before the time frame or the timeline elapses for submission, you people are able to get work done. Yeah. So like I said, I'll be reaching out to all group leaders today before the end of today. Anita, if you can hear me, you can go ahead and ask your question now.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, my question is concerning when it comes to backup presenters. So apparently, I found out that we are going to like the presenters have to deal with the presentation that is already compiled. However, I saw like the this thing, the guideline that was given for backup presenters that in case of like the presenters have technical issues, the backup presenters have to come in. So I want to ask, are we still going to have to deal with the same PowerPoint presentation that is compiled, or do we still have to like make extra efforts to make a new PowerPoint in case of like the presenter is not around?
No. So the presentation is the work of the entire group as a whole, right? The presenter is just going to be speaking to the presentation that's been compiled by the group. If for any reason the presenter is not available, the backup presenters, right, who also have access to the presentation should be able to make presentation on behalf of the presenter that maybe for instance, for technical issues, because there are instances where network may be a challenge and the presenter may not be able to complete or even start the presentation, the backup presenter should be able to fill in. The reason why we make it like this is so that we don't go the whole session without like a group presenting, right? It's not necessarily our standard for us to go through classes and, there's nobody to present on behalf of a particular group. So yeah, it's just going to be, there's no additional presentation in terms of slides that are supposed to be made, right? It's just supposed to be that one presentation that has been made on behalf of the group that both the presenters and the backup presenters should get ready with, or should prepare with rather.
All right.
I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
All right. Um, all right, Aminat, please go ahead and ask your question. I can see a question in chat box, but I will take question from.
I'm so sorry. I didn't hear the reply to my other question because I had an issue with my network. So I wanted you to clarify that is it that we each individually we each get our own article to write and submit, or is going to be assigned like different groups? And if it's assigned in different groups, is it that everybody in that group, like all our names are going to be like part of the article, like according to our contribution? That's my question.
Okay. I think probably maybe there's a mix-up in your question per se. So the articles are supposed to be done individually, except maybe if you are in the IP class where, particular certain groups were paired, people were paired with other people to write articles, right? Except for that instance, you are supposed to write, if you were assigned to write an article, right, you're supposed to do that individually, like work on it yourself. It's not supposed to have any other person's name on it. It's supposed to have just yours. And in the instance for the main presentation that is going to be worked on, that is left for the group's discretion. If you want to include all the names of the people who in the group, that is fine. The reason why we don't make it compulsory is because when the group leader is submitting the presentations, there's an allocation in the submission form for him or her to fill in the names of the people who contributed to the articles, to the presentation rather, to the presentation, who is going to be presenting. Some other details are going to be detailed in the submission form, which you are going to fill in. So we don't necessarily demand for it to be in the presentation itself, right? Because we expect that when you are submitting, you are supposed to fill in all that detail. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Um, okay, somebody, sorry, I'm trying to get the name of the person who is asking this. I'm coming just a minute. Okay, Memunat is asking, with the articles that each group member, aside from those who have roles assigned to them, is required to write be different from the topic given to the person. Sorry. Be different, sorry, I'm trying to, different from the topic given to the person who was tasked to write the article in the first place. I'm trying to understand your question. Yeah, so if I understood your question very well, right? The article is supposed to be different from the one that the group is compiling as a whole. Even though, like I said, it's supposed to, be from either a subtopic. If you were not given a subtopic, then you can just overall write on the main topic, but it's supposed to be different from the work that is being done from the group itself. That is, if you were assigned to work on the article, but it doesn't overall mean that you will not get to contribute to the work because you are assigned to write an article. We still expect that if there are ideas that need to be shared in the group, even though you were assigned to write an article, you can share your ideas with the group, right? You can share your ideas with the group. But your first priority, if you're assigned to write an article, is to write an article, and your article is to be written based off of the topic, right, that was given to your group. That's if it was just one topic. But if there are subtopics within your group, then you have to pick from the subtopic to write on, or pick from any subtopic to write on. Okay. All right. There are other questions on the group. I'm trying to get through to them. It's a bit difficult on my end, but I'm trying my best. Sorry. Bakari is asking, my question is in regards to the mentorship and internship as a whole. After completing the 7 weeks an internship program, can we still apply for a difference for the next quarter of internship in a different course? Okay, yeah. Yes, you can do that. You can actually do that. You can reapply for another course. It's not necessarily one time for all. It's not necessarily a one time for all events in that sense, right? You can reapply if you want to take or you want to partake in another course. Yes, you can reapply. Okay. Is it compulsory to make a post on LinkedIn after every session? Well, yes, technically. Well, sorry, I'm saying technically, but technically it is because we want to know that you've learned something in this session. We want to see you share what you have learned, tag your mentors. We want to see you express yourself within that sense. So yeah, it is actually quite compulsory for you to do so, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be on LinkedIn. It can also be on your, well, even your WhatsApp, right? Your WhatsApp status, or maybe Facebook, whatever platform you want to do that with, you can actually do that. You can share what you have learned during the session. We also want, the reason why we are doing that is because we also want the mentors to see that, what they said in class resonated or connected with you, right? So posting after classes or, is actually quite important. Yeah. All right. So I think so far so good. We've addressed every question, or I've addressed every question that has been asked in the last, well, technically 20 minutes. All right, 20 to 30 minutes. And so far I think, well, I would maybe give myself a pat on the back for doing quite a good job. Sorry for blowing my own trumpets if it may seem that I am, right? So yeah, basically this is what you are going to be expecting, or we are going to be expecting from you in the next 7 weeks, right? We expect for it to be enriching, the process itself to be worth your while, right? We do not come here, or we do not want to waste your time, right? We expect for you to have a learning, an impactful learning experience, right? So please feel free to be very, very open to the process. I'm sure you are going to come out on the other side much better, more knowledgeable about these courses or the disciplines that you have chosen to participate in, right? I am your coordinator for the program, like I have said. I want to make the process as easy sailing for you as possible. I want you to have the best in terms of experience, and how best as I can to make that come to pass. I will try my possible best to ensure that if for any reason, it seems I am unreachable in terms of maybe you send me a message and I do not respond in time, please, my sincere apologies. I will do well to try as much as I can to attend to every question that is asked me every time you reach out to me, right? I'll do well to do that. What we are trying to build is not just a community of people who come to learn, but eventually a family of people who are trying to get better and who are trying to develop themselves, right? Who are trying to develop themselves. So please commit to the process. Like I said, I believe you are going to come out on the other side of this 7 weeks program better and more knowledgeable about the subject matter or the disciplines that you have chosen to participate in. So with that, I believe we've come to the end of today's onboarding session. It's been an hour plus, an hour, 10 minutes thereabouts, and I believe it has been worth your time. Like I said, immediately we close from this session, I expect that work would already start, will get going, right? Groups will be created, and as much as you can, in preparation for your class, you people will get to work so that your class is going to be worth the while. You can have real-time conversations with your mentors. They can express themselves to you as best as they can. Please do well to ask questions during sessions. Do well to ask questions during sessions. I am sure the mentors are going to be willing and ready to answer your questions. You'll be having 2 to 3 mentors per each class. So, different angle, not just a single person coming to talk to you, but different perspective, different, different perspectives are going to be brought to you from the different mentors, right? Try as much as possible to commit to the process, like I've said. And I believe you're going to enjoy yourself in the next 7 weeks. Thank you so much for being a part of this onboarding session. Okay, for being a part of this onboarding session. I forgot to do something. There's something that is in our usual practice, and something that we always do, that I am forgetting, and that is we take pictures. Everything that we do is documented, right? Is documented, is taken into account, right? So this onboarding session, we like to take it into account. If you, or if it's possible, we would like for you to turn on your videos so that we can have a quick screenshot of the session, and we can call it a day. So please, if you can turn on your video cameras so that we can kindly do that. All right. I can see some people's videos are already on. Thank you so much for that. All right, give me a moment. I'll try to. All right, so sorry, I'm trying to take the pictures. I'm using 2 devices, so yeah, it may take a while. All right, just a minute. Sorry, one more minute. Sorry, it's taking quite a long time to do. My sincere apologies. All right, we are done. We are done. Once again, thank you to everyone who made it to the onboarding session. See you on the other side. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me when you can. Right? If you have any concerns or any issues, please reach out to me. Try as much as possible. I am your friend and I'm here to make the process, like I said, as smooth for you as possible. You'll be seeing me quite a lot throughout the program. So please do not hesitate to share your concerns with me. Yeah, thank you everyone and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.